he gonna laugh?
Do me a favor. Take a picture of all of this.
Okay.
From our view. Before we disassemble.
My view before we disassemble it.
Yeah.
You guys are live.
Oh snap!
Oh,
It
snap.
must be Wednesday.
It must be Wednesday in the building.
Come on in the room.
Oh,
Come on in the room.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Jesus is my doctor.
Y'all knew what I was saying, baby. I ain't have to know all the
Not you
words.
just started humming the
All
joint.
right. I ain't have to know all the words
you
to
started
know.
humming the joint and then missed the rest of the words.
Well, I knew I didn't know the words. I just figured you was gonna fill in
I got
the
you.
blank.
Of course, you know what
You know
I'm
what I'm
saying.
talking about?
I definitely got you.
Fill in the lack of
The
knowledge
lack of, I got you.
that I possess.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, for said information.
We're gonna get that middle camera. We can slide that over. But anyway, what's up, Kay?
What's
We in the
going
building.
on?
How you feeling?
I am so much better than last week. Y'all get to hear my beautiful voice again, baby.
Y'all know she was struggling last week.
I was on the
I had to
struggle
try to hold that
bus,
thing down all by
okay?
myself. You know what I'm
Struggle
saying?
bus,
She was
yes.
on the struggle
Yes.
of the buses
Yes.
and all of that good
Yes.
stuff.
So if you hear me coughing, just know that's just the residual, you know, of the healing
Is that what it is?
that I have done over the last week.
Hey, Warren,
Hey,
what up,
Warren,
guys?
what's going on?
What's going on with you?
What's going
What's
on?
going on?
Gotta pay homage to Constance every week. You know how
Every
that
week,
go.
every week.
Every week.
Hey, y'all know what it is. We want to go ahead and welcome y'all to Real Relevant Conversation with
Casey, baby.
LJ in the building.
Episode
4. We in here. Y'all know what I'm saying? We making it do what it do.
Yeah.
Again, as always, we want to tell y'all thank you for tuning in.
Absolutely.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in, making sure y'all lock in and tap in. We thank you to support all the shares. Everybody that logs in every single day. You know,
means the world to us.
It means the world.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank
It
you.
takes a little bit of courage.
I
Yeah,
got
we talked about
some
that
liquid
last
courage
week.
in my cup. Should we
Not you got liquid courage, bro. Not you got liquid courage.
I got a little liquid courage in my
You know what I'm
red
saying?
Solo cup.
Solo cook. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I got me some good old coffee over here.
All right.
That's in my Grumpasaurus cup that I'm working with. You know, so we're gonna make it do what it do all day. You know what I'm saying?
You remember that Jamie Foxx joint?
Yeah, you know I do. I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby. Hey. Hey, listen, beautiful people. Just want to again, like I said, appreciate y'all for tapping in every week. We got a heavy topic today that is
Wait, before we go,
okay.
let's get some housekeeping in order.
Housekeeping.
All right. Number one, thank you so much for all the love and support, all the shares, the likes. Thank you to everybody who has followed the official podcast page on the Instagram. Real Relevant Conversations. We will continue to grow, and as we continue to grow, we're gonna figure out how to go live on the podcast page. Okay. So that just means we add another camera to the repertoire. But definitely thank you to everybody who continues to support us week after week, day after day. Thank you to everybody who shares our content. Thank you to everybody who, you know, interacts with us during the lives, even though we still working on it. We can't see it.
Right.
But we know you here.
Yeah, we know you
know
here.
what I'm talking about?
We know
And
you
that
here.
is what matters. I also want to say, before we get into the topic today, that note, we are not therapists.
That's number one.
We are not psychologists.
Please and thank you.
We are not psychiatrists.
Okay.
We are two women who are going to share our perspectives from our life experiences.
Get 'em right.
From our work, from our healing, and the things that we have utilized, the tools that we've learned, that we continue to learn, and that we just want to share with you guys in hopes that we can facilitate and help somebody else heal.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, even if it's just one person, we've done our jobs.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of put that out there, because what we are talking about today is a heavy topic.
It's a heavy topic.
What we are talking about today is something that a lot of people refuse to acknowledge.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And, you know, with that, Just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, we gonna laugh, we might cry. You know what I'm talking about? We gonna do it all.
I might have to ask Rose Productions to give me a tissue or something like that.
Yeah.
Please share, like, tap in. I appreciate y'all for joining in. Elena, what up? Brandy, what up? Thank you for logging in. Glover, what's going on? I do apologize those of you that's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, because our cameras is on the other side. We do acknowledge you, okay? We do apologize.
We know you here.
I do gotta say this before we get into our topic.
Yeah.
Bruh, your level of confidence though, son.
Stop it.
That joint is growing, son.
A little bit.
You in the building. Look, I ain't even got I let that joint run you all day. You know what I'm saying? So, a heavy topic. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing about our topic today, we talked about, as y'all can see the title, we talking about grief, right?
Right.
And the biggest piece that we're talking about is not getting over grief,
because there's no such thing as getting over.
There's
grief.
no such thing as getting over grief.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
But getting through it, and how, we share our experiences on how we actually, getting through grief, because it's not a one-day process. It's not all of a sudden it stops, but it's a continual, process that
Every
we have to deal with.
day.
And the interesting thing, Kay, is that a lot of times when we hear the word grief,
mm-hmm.
we immediately equate it to somebody that is no longer presently with us, somebody that has passed.
Right.
I hate to use the word
died.
Yeah, I hate to use that. You already know that that's a term that me and that term is not friends on any day, but we equate it to somebody that has
died. I felt the tap. My
bad. You know what I'm saying? We equate it that
mm-hmm.
way, but we want to be able to tap into the size of what avenue that grief really covers, because it's more than just losing a loved one. It's a whole bunch of avenues in which grief actually dives into. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I think that's something that some people don't necessarily acknowledge. I think what happens is people get so stuck on grief being the loss of a loved one that, they don't necessarily look into the fact that anything that you once loved and lost, you're going to go through a grief process. Whether that is a job, whether that is a relationship, that person ain't got to die for you to grieve a loss of the presence of something or someone in your life.
Absolutely.
And I think that it's very important to just identify the different types. Excuse me, the different types of grief, because there are, so many different things that we grieve, and different types of grief and that kind of thing. So definitely can't wait to get into it.
I'm a little nervous about this right here for me. It's something that's dear to my heart. But real quick, I got to give a shout out to the PG family that is in the building. Pastor Chandler Sanders is in the building. Reverend Latasha Cook is in the building. Y'all got to check out her sermonettes on Saturdays. Come check us out on Sundays. I got Jacoya. I got Nate in the building. Renee is in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Is that Renee that we went? Hey, Renee, girl!
You know what I'm saying? So again,
when
Facebook, we
PG,
see y'all.
I was thinking you saw about PG County.
No,
I was like,
who
PG
here?
County,
man. Not PG County, Pleasant Grove Missionary Baptist Church. All right. So the reason for our topic, what's up, Mills? Is we want to dive into, and again, if you know anything about me, I'm not going to dive into it. I am going to give some stuff, and this is actually going to be in a 2-part series. The interesting thing about next week is that we actually have a guest. And it is going to be my father, man. And I'm going to tell y'all that early on, and then we're going to revisit that at the end. Absolutely. But my father has a story from, I don't want to say male's perspective, but actually from a male's perspective. And he has a story that has not yet been told, right? And I think that he has a deeper depth that we could go into when we talk about grief and, how to navigate this life.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to try to tell this story.
Yeah, that's not our job.
But please tap in. Oh, and just to let y'all know, housekeeping as well. We're going to change the time next week to Tuesday, right? We'll have to shift it over to Tuesday. My baby sister is having... we got some medical things that we need to deal with coming next week, so we just want to make sure those of you that knows the words of prayer, as the people say in church, pray for it. And if you don't know how to pray, Don't even worry about it. But send up
Just
some
send
good
up
prayer.
some positive energy, baby. Send up some healing energy.
Yeah,
send
for sure.
up so much love and light to my girl,
Yeah.
Tika.
Yeah, Tika in the building.
Oh,
And
also,
hey,
Black History Month.
Black History Month, yeah, we gotta do it.
Listen, I was literally about to say, shout out to the hoodies, okay?
Shout out to the hoodies, y'all.
Shout out to the hoodies.
For sure.
I am currently wearing my 20-year-old cousin. She has a brand that is soon to release. You can find her on Instagram under Official Mills Co.
Hey,
Shout out to my baby Nia. I am so proud of you. This is a prototype that she gave me off her back when I told her I need one.
Absolutely.
She said I got you.
For sure.
So definitely want to shout out my girl.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes.
Hey, Black History, here we go all day. This right here, as y'all can see, it says "See It Happen." This is my baby sister's nonprofit. This is her organization to where she motivates, and her drive is actually for the youth.
Yes.
And it's one of those things where you're trying to see them to see outside of their circumstances,
Absolutely.
right? So "See It Happen" is one of those things. If you really was to see this shirt, it's in reverse. But when you look at it and look in the mirror, it's a message that she intentionally put on a sweatshirt backwards so that when you stand in the mirror, it speaks back to you.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my baby sister.
Yes.
And then I got some other people that we gonna rep, you know what I'm saying, in the building. So
For sure.
we got y'all coming out.
Also,
you got something.
you know, if y'all want the address, send us some merch, baby.
Send us some
Send us some
merch.
merch,
We got you.
okay?
All right. But let's get started, Carrie.
Absolutely.
You know, so in all transparency, man, without going too deep into the story, before January 26, 2021, my mother, when she was still living, I used to wonder why it was that when Mother's Day for her came around, when my grandmother's birthday came around, why did she still feel the same void that she had felt at the very beginning? The way that I approached her losing her mother and my thought process was one of, you know, it's been years. Why does the pain still feel the same way? You know, it's been 15, 20 years, and I'll be like, why she still, and if I'm honest, why she still so sensitive about this situation? And I did not get that, you know, years after losing somebody that is dear to you, your heart, the sting of it is still like the day that it happened.
Right.
And I have to be honest, I did not know that until I lost my mother.
Okay. So it gave you a different perspective.
It gave me a different perspective.
Okay, absolutely.
January 26, 2021 was the moment that my life changed forever.
Absolutely.
It was
the
a moment that
you changed forever.
It was the moment that I changed forever. I had lost people, you know, I had lost my cousin years before my grandfather passed away. And the truth of the matter is I didn't really have that type of relationship with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I lost friends. I didn't have that heart relationship.
Right.
If you will. I'm talking about a heart, like talk about deep rooted in your soul type of relationship.
Where you would feel that loss every day.
Right. I didn't have that.
Yeah.
And it was not until, if I really went in detail about the journey of that, y'all, I watched my mom health decrease from I watched her health decrease from January the 2nd, 2021 to January the 26th. I had less than 30 days before I watched my mother take her last breath.
Yeah.
And that was the first real experience that I have ever felt on when we talk about lost. And it changed my perspective because if I'm honest, I have been fighting since that day to find who I am.
Right. Right.
Because before she passed, I could pick up the phone and I can call her. And I said a couple months after she passed, I was like, I did not realize how much my mother was my anchor until I didn't have it no more. You know what I'm saying? Once I didn't have it anymore, I was like, bro, who am I going to call?
Yeah.
Who am I going to call? Who am I going to say something to? And it changed me because now I feel there was a hurt in my heart. It was no longer just, you know how, you go through relationships and you break up and your feelings be hurt for a little bit. It might be a couple years.
I was going to say, some people never heal from that grief.
Yeah.
Some people never heal from that type of loss either. It's one of those things about putting it into perspective.
Right.
You know, and what, losing Mama Joyce did was it put her loss of her mother into perspective for you.
Right.
And it allows you to sympathize because you are now placed in that same position and learning to navigate life after and learning to be who you became after that day. Because I tell you all the time, the person you were when you woke up on January 25th, 2021 is not the person that went to sleep on January 26th, 2021. I tell you all the time, that person, that version of you died when she took her last breath.
Yeah. And I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that because the moment that the funeral home came and picked up my mother. And I remember this vaguely. Carrie came down the highway, and this is not, I'm just being transparent for a moment. So if y'all just carry me for a moment, because we're going to get to where we're getting to. And the reason why we're having this topic,
take your time. You don't, no disclaimer needed. Take your time.
The day that I knew my mama was going to, I knew the Lord had revealed some stuff to me. And I told my sisters, I told my father, I preached my mother's eulogy. And I got the sermon of her life on January the 15th.
Okay.
My mom passed on January the 26th. So at some point in time, the Lord was letting me know, Keisha, LJ, your mom is not going to be here because the Lord revealed some stuff about her life that I had never seen.
Okay.
Stuff that she had never exposed to me.
Okay.
Stuff that I never imagined. But the moment I had enough strength I was wondering, why did the Lord charge me to be the one to usher her? You know how they go to the hospital and, they call the chaplain in and the chaplain is praying with the family and they're doing this. I wondered, why did you choose me?
Right.
Right. Why did I have to, at some point in time, become a licensed minister? Why did I have to learn and know the Lord the way that I wanted to? And I look back at it and I'm saying, okay, this is for that reason. Because the moment that my mother passed, I felt like it's the moment my ministry began. That's what I felt like. I felt like the moment she took her last breath is what the Lord called me into. Now I need you to dive into ministry. But this is what broke me. It wasn't even her last breath. What broke me, Kay, is when the funeral home came and put my mother's body on that stretcher. And before they let her walk out on the stretcher, they had to cover her face up.
Yeah.
You was there.
Yeah, I was there.
And when they covered her face up, I completely lost it.
Right.
Because that was a reality for me that I would never see her again.
Right.
And it was like from that moment, okay, I'm going to hold it together. This is truth. It was that moment that I realized something in me had changed that I didn't know that changed in me because I never experienced it, right?
Right.
But it was the journey after the moments that my personality changed. It was the moments after the moment that I became angry. It was moments after that moment that my emotions were so imbalanced. If I'm honest, Steph, my best friend, I call her my mother in the spirit, right? And she said, when you go up to your mother, it's even to the point, y'all, I was drinking as my mother was transitioning. And Steph said, I need you not to go visit your mother and smell like alcohol. I said, okay, okay, all right, I got it. I can understand. I'm with you, you know what I'm saying? But it changed something about me because I had feelings that I could no longer express.
Right.
I had feelings that I did not understand.
Right.
I didn't understand them.
Right.
I had pain that I couldn't, to the point where I became volatile to myself, and I wanted to express that in other people.
Right.
And grief has a way of doing that to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if you don't know how to deal with your emotions, to deal with your feelings, to deal with that. It's one of those things that it has a way to turn your personality into something, and you become somebody that you didn't never know existed.
Absolutely, because you're never the same person.
Right.
You're never the same person. What we've seen happen is all of anything that you may have that was unresolved, that was unaddressed, that was, never spoken. All of it rises to the surface at that one point. And then you start going through the stages.
Yeah, bro.
You start going through the stages, okay? It happens. But wait, let me pull it up, y'all. Hold on, because I
got it right here.
Oh, you got it right here?
I got the stages. I got the stages right here. We got notes today,
listen,
y'all.
Listen, you go through the stages. That first stage is sadness, right? You're sad. That's the initial emotion. You're sad. I miss that person. I'm never going to physically see that person again. I'm never going to physically hear that voice again, right? And you be sad for a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? You're sad. You're going through the process of planning the service. You're going through the process of saying goodbye. And then after you say goodbye and you're sitting in your house at one point by yourself, alone with your thoughts, alone in the room.
Alone in the room, Yolanda.
It's just me. That's my song. I love that song. Anyway, so you're sitting in the house alone with yourself, and now you mad,
Bruh.
because I can't pick up the phone and call my mama. You know what I'm talking about? And let me preface my statements at this moment by saying I am very lucky to still have both of my parents.
Yeah.
My mama, literally, y'all, I could walk to her house because that is how attached, you know what I'm saying, I am to her. However, having to witness others lose their parents, throughout the course of my life and that type of thing, it allows me to view it from the outside.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that experience will be for me when the day comes.
Yeah.
I hope that I've done enough work on myself prior to. I tell my mama I love her every time I talk to her. I overlove her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I never want it to be an instance in which you don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want you to pass and me think that I didn't tell you I loved you enough. I didn't show you I loved you enough.
Bruh.
All right?
Come on.
I don't ever want that to happen, okay? I don't care how mad I am. I don't care. I love you. All right, love you, Mom. But y'all, my mama can hang up the phone. And if I don't hear her say I love you, I'm calling her back to make sure she knows. Because when my grandmother passed...
Yeah, I remember that, Kay.
When my grandmother passed, the last words I know that I said to my grandmother was, I love you.
Yeah.
All right? She passed from an aneurysm.
Man.
There was no preparation for her death.
Right.
There was no, she's sick. We don't have a lot of time to say goodbye. That was not the circumstance.
Yeah.
It was instant.
Yeah.
When the switch flipped, it was it. You know what I'm talking about? And when I went to the hospital, because, we talk about how much and how close we are, but in those times of our lives, we were always right next to each other.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
When I went to the hospital to see my grandmother, I didn't want to go. I wasn't going to go. I wasn't going to go.
I had to go
however,
with you.
The reason that I went is because you made me go. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You physically put my ass in a car, okay, and was like, no, you will regret not going if we don't go now. And the thing about this is, this was years before you ever experienced that loss for yourself.
Bruh.
But you were my strength in that moment.
Dog. I didn't even think about that.
I know. But that was something that you helped me through. You know what I mean? I didn't, there was literally no part of me, you know that. Like, I can't voice it enough. You know what I mean? And I lost my train of thought, y'all.
It's all good. But the beautiful thing that you was hitting on, and I'm with you. I told y'all this emotional.
Go ahead.
So, but That's just like, Reverend Cook is on here, and she can connect with losing somebody instantly.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, she lost her son in a fatal car crash.
Yeah.
Right? And she has another son, but the thing about it is that sting doesn't go.
It doesn't.
away.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But I'm gonna tell you
Who's
this right
left?
here. Y'all, it is what it is. The Lord ordains friendships and relationships and people that be in your life for moments and times, or forever, or for seasons,
For a reason or for a season.
and for
Absolutely,
a season.
absolutely.
Because it did not dawn on me. I just thought I was doing my service
Right.
to you as my friend.
Right. No.
That's what I thought I was doing. I thought I was just doing a service to you to make sure that you didn't look back at that moment and regret not being there.
That literally, what you have to understand is that moment changed that loss, that moment, that experience, having you there literally changed the disrespect. The disrespect.
It's heavy. Woo.
That changed the essentially the trajectory of my healing. Because I can't now 20 years later, I can't now imagine not having been there, not having the opportunity to say goodbye, not having the opportunity to touch my grandmother's hand while it was still warm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that experience, it shaped a lot of our friendship going forward.
Absolutely.
It shaped a lot of our ability, you know what I mean, to survive shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Nah. And the beautiful thing about that, and I'm going to go back to it, just the same way that you needed me, I needed you. Because it was this person, I said it 2 episodes ago, I'm going to say it again. It was this person that was able to take a step back and seeing what I could not see in my personality change.
Right.
This person was the one that said, Key, because she heard something from me that she heard that was not common in my personality.
Absolutely.
Carrie heard anger. Carrie heard pain. Carrie heard unanswered questions.
Right.
And in her hearing that, she gave me the only thing that she knew. She probably the only person I would have listened to,
That.
if we honest, because if my sisters in them would have said, Key, you need to go to therapy, I would have looked at them and be like, nah, you need to go to therapy. I would have told them,
Why are we like this? Why are we like this?
You go to therapy
Yeah.
because I'm good.
Right.
But it wasn't until this woman right here, she let me, I remember the moment I was in the car, I had a real live episode of road rage. And I do practice, what is that, the Second Amendment? Where you can practice to carry.
I think that's the fourth.
Fourth,
Like
second,
I think
one
it's
of
the
the
fourth.
amendments.
Yeah, the right to
where
bear
I can
arms.
bear arms.
Absolutely.
And I was so angry with the person that was driving in front of me that Carrie heard me say, I will put a bullet in the back of that vehicle. And she let me express how I felt. She took a moment, and when I was able to hear it, she said, Key, I need you to go to therapy.
No.
Okay, tell her what
I
you said.
said, take your ass to therapy. Okay? You are acting real out of character, baby. And what we are not going to do is allow that negative energy, those negative thoughts, and those negative feelings engulf you so much that you forget who you are. Because those actions are not the actions that Joy Sand would have approved of. Okay? Those behaviors are not the behaviors that she raised you to utilize. So you don't get to dishonor her by not doing the work on yourself so that you can be the best version of you now that she's not here.
Bruh, it took Carrie to say that because I was pissed. I was angry. I was frustrated. I did not freaking understand. I still to this day don't understand, because there are some firsts. I can't wait till my mama see me where my fullest potential. That was my thing, bruh. I was angry.
Yeah.
Frustrated. I felt guilty. Me and my sisters just talked about that a couple weeks ago on my mom's birthday and on her departure date, as my mom would say. I was pissed, man.
Yeah.
And when I went into therapy, the first thing I said to my therapist, bruh, is there's an angry monster that sits on my shoulder.
Right.
And me and him have conversation. And we talk. Like we have real conversation. And if it ain't for me don't want to go to jail,
right?
I said don't want to go to jail. I did say it on purpose.
Place,
if it wasn't for me don't want to go to jail,
don't want to go.
Come on, me and the angry monster would have did some stuff,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, when we're talking about the loss of a loved one, bro, these things feed into relationships.
Yes.
It feeds into loss of jobs.
Yes.
It feeds into loss, because at the end of the day, we build ourselves up on the hopes that's in front of us. Or the love that's in front of us, or what it is that we can experience. But the moment that thing is gone, then it becomes a totally different type of situation.
Right.
Then that's what we talk about, these different stages.
Right. Absolutely.
I got a piece of paper in my hand that talks about that I had to learn in therapy. And my therapist sent this paper and she said, I want to show you what it really looks like for somebody to go through stages.
Right.
And I said, huh? She said, I'm going to show you, because the society says to you that if you've gone through a stage of guilt, you shouldn't be experiencing that anymore. If you've gone through a stage of anger, you shouldn't be experiencing that anymore. If you've gone through a state of whatever the case may be, the feelings and the emotions that the world say, it's been 10 years, why you still there?
You need to get over it.
First, boy, if
that's triggering.
It's triggering.
That's triggering.
Let me tell y'all something.
Absolutely.
What was triggering to me too was when people showed up and said to me, your mama wouldn't want this. How you gonna tell me what my mama want?
She not here to tell me.
How you gonna tell me what she want? How you gonna tell me how she feel? How you gonna tell me? You ain't even know my mama for real.
The audacity of you to speak for her.
The audacity.
The audacity of you.
She wants you to be.
Yeah.
You don't know what she want right now.
Right.
And if she was here, she'd be telling you to shut up.
But she wouldn't. Okay, she wouldn't. That was your false sense of reality that came from unhealed grief.
Absolutely.
That was your false sense of security that didn't really exist.
Yeah.
And that was your crutch.
Yeah.
I refuse, anybody that I love, I will do my best to not allow that to handicap them.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me tell y'all something. I'm telling y'all, that's why I got a friend, because it helped me. I'm just now getting to the point of, I told y'all earlier, as we was preparing for a podcast, I said, I think that I'm probably at the most emotionally stable, mentally stable place that I have been since 2021.
And that's 4 years ago.
That's 4 years ago.
I'm doing the math right.
That's 4 years ago. January this year just made it 4 years.
Right.
And the reason being is because I had to do some work. Woo! And people don't want to, because we got this tough shell. I'm gonna be honest. I got my sisters on here. You know, my dad is here, and I think I'm always thankful for my dad, my stepmother Kim, that support. But I think my sisters thought I was gonna lose my mind a little bit. I think they thought I was going.
You know, if I'm being honest, I thought all of you were.
Yeah.
And it's only because of who your mother was to you all.
Yeah.
That I really, genuinely, in my heart of hearts, was extremely concerned with seeing all of you make it to the other side.
Yeah.
And I mean that. I mean that because knowing you all for as long as I have known you and your sisters, baby, Mama Joyce, that loss hurt me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the experiences and the lessons that she gave me that my mother couldn't give me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how I was going to come on the other side of it. That wasn't my birth mom. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So just imagining and just, knowing that what she means to you all, because she still means the same thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Even though she's not physically here, that doesn't change.
Yeah.
She still means the same thing to you all. And knowing that, being here to experience that with you all, I was scared as hell. I'm not gonna hold you. I was so scared.
Right.
And we've talked about it. I'm not. I don't know how to pray. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something that I was ever taught to do. That's not. That's. And I feel like those types of things you do have to be taught. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I prayed for y'all.
Bruh.
And I prayed because I know that is the belief system that you have.
Dog.
So I knew that in order to help you all through that, I needed to talk to the person that y'all talk to.
Wait.
You know what I'm talking about?
First of all, is you capping, Kay? Because this about to make me cry, dog.
No, I mean that sincerely. I sincerely prayed for you all.
Y'all better check your friends. Because if you ain't got a friend that's willing to step outside of what their norm is to hold you up, something wrong with the people that you're dealing with.
Honey.
You need to deal. You need to
let them go.
You need to. It's a system of checks and balances,
Absolutely.
baby. Because this right here speaking volume.
Absolutely.
This girl put her own belief, her own truth, her own thing aside to be able to lift me up.
Absolutely.
Lift me and my sisters up.
100%.
Lift my daddy up.
100%.
If she put her own self aside, bro, if you don't got somebody in your corner like that, you might need to check. You need to check something.
You need to
because
check
what we put up the other
what
day.
About your friends?
What about your friends? They don't deserve that energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But no, my sisters thought I was gonna lose my mind.
Yeah.
Because I cried.
Yes.
Right? I did a lot of crying. Y'all, I have locks on accident. But Carrie was one, my cousin Jay Meese was one, because I had anxiety so bad up until the point that my mom passed away that my hair thinned at the top. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people think that, this journey was an accident. This was the way that I was going to keep hair on top of my head.
Accidentally on purpose.
Accidentally on purpose. This is what I'm saying. Like we don't really know what changes us until you dealing with some stuff, man. Mm-hmm. Until you dealing with some things, dealing with some issues, some problems, anxiety was pulling my hair out because of having to go through this journey, preparing for this journey, and getting to a place where I could be healthy.
Right.
And I'm not saying I'm healthy every day, but that's what we're talking about is getting through it.
Right.
Because society says get over it. Society says, why you crying tears?
Your
that
job
happened 4
only
years
gives you
ago.
3 days of
Your
bereavement.
job only
Like,
gives you 3 years, and if you ain't
so
been on a
illogical.
job long enough, you can't take no
FMLA.
Yeah. You can't get disability.
Right.
And God forbid if you ain't got insurance to go see a doctor that at least can write you out of work so you don't lose your job. It's a whole messed up situation.
Right.
I needed the time that I had to be able to grieve my mother. But the truth of the matter on the other side of this and the purpose of this is we're not at a place of saying get over it. We're at a place of saying we got to take self-retrospect and see what it is that we have to do. A lot of times we don't want to deal with our own feelings, our own emotions, and society will say get over it. Society will say, move past it. Society will say, why are you still talking about this? I say that often to Carrie. I know you're probably tired of hearing about this, Carrie, but I miss my mama.
And what I tell you every
Carrie
time.
Like, it don't matter. You should feel the way. Talk about it. Talk about how you feel, because they tell us to get over instances where you should be stronger than that. Well, the fact that I'm still here is show that I'm strong.
Right.
That ain't got nothing to do with my feelings in my heart or in my chest or anything along those lines. It literally has to do with I continue to, every day I wake up every morning, every day after the loss of your grandmother. Shoot, your aunt. Not too long after my aunt Pearl, but your aunt, your Uncle Mike, you've lost some people that are dear to you.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, the biggest piece that we're trying to show is that, as you can see, we got emotions. We done shed tears. We done had moments of anger. We done had moments of expressing how we feel. But the truth of the matter is, grief is not something that you can get over. It's just something that you learn to deal with.
You know, I saw this thing that it says grief is not linear. So you know how there are the different stages of grief. You got anger, you got sadness, you got, you know, resentment. You have all of those different stages. But you literally, it's not a straight line, okay?
That's what the scribble,
right?
That's the scribble scrabble.
It's not linear. It's a process, and it's a never-ending process. So you start with the sadness, and then you get mad, and then you go back to sad, you know,
and then you get happy. You be happy
yeah, but you get happy because you get to remember, and you allow yourself to remember the experiences that you had when they were here.
Yeah.
Excuse me, y'all. I'm so sorry. When they were here, right? So now you get happy, right? And then in the happiness, 37 seconds later, you be mad as hell again.
And then
because you're like, damn, I'm never going to be able to do that again.
Yes.
I'm never going to take that trip with my mom again. I'm never going to pick up the phone and call her again. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not a linear process. There is no finish line when you're dealing with grief and loss.
Yeah. And I had to say, y'all, I got sisters that's on live right now. I got, you know, my sister Trina is on live. She lost both of her biological parents, her father, then, you know, my mom, my mother, and then I have my other sister, C, is on here as well. And Angela, I seen you. What's up? I got you. I know you say you miss your father. And, you know, my sister is on here. She lost her biological mother that were sisters through my father, but my mom was her mom as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so just acknowledging that. And she put in a post, you know, is those things that we do miss, those things. But the biggest piece is we're human, man. Right. And we got emotions.
And you have to give yourself grace.
And you got to give yourself grace. You got to give yourself the okay to feel.
The permission.
The permission to feel.
The permission.
Because most people will tell you to stop feeling and you should be okay. Nah, give me some space to feel how I feel. Give me the okay. And if you don't give me the okay, my therapist told me that if they don't give it to you, then you take it.
You take it.
I don't need you to tell me no more than you can go ahead and have this space anymore. Nah, fine. If you won't give me that, all right, you ain't the person I need in my corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and back on out of here and head left to where it's at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the biggest piece that when we're talking about grief, and again, we're talking about relationships. And I came up with this saying, Chat GPT helps me put words together. But the saying that I said that I learned about grief after some therapy, and I think I was riding in my car one day, and I said to myself, it said, yep, I'm going to go here. Oh, it's great. It said, grief is, let me pull it up right quick, okay? I want to make sure I say it to y'all correctly real fast, all right? Because I did write it down, and I do apologize because we get in our feelings right here. But it says, grief is love with nowhere to go. Grief is love with nowhere to go. Because when you're grieving, whether it's a person that's lost, that you lost, that is no longer here physically, if it's a relationship, you fell in love with somebody, and now they're no longer there. If it's a job that you gave your all to, you know, you did that with the most, you know, for us as believers, we honor God on our job, you know what I'm saying? Or even for your own self, you like, man, I'm going to do this to the best of my ability because that's who I am.
Right.
And then the moment those things are taken away, it's like that heart is sucked from you. So now the love that you were given, it has nowhere to go.
Right, because if you think about it, that's an energy, right?
Yeah.
So love is an energy that you share between yourself, a person, a situation, a circumstance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's an energy.
Yeah.
And what does Newton's law of science say? Energy is never lost. It is transferred.
It's transferred. Come on.
So when you lose that person or that situation or that circumstance who you were pouring the energy into, now that energy is just floating around with nowhere to go.
Absolutely.
And you don't know where to direct it.
Absolutely.
You don't know who to give it to.
Nah,
you don't know how to share it.
Come on, Kay. Because you don't. Because you're dealing with hurt. So now you're vulnerable.
Right.
Like, do I trust you enough now? I done had to deal with this hurt already, whether it's a lost loved one or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Am I going to trust somebody enough to give that to them again?
Can I?
Can I trust them enough to
Is
give
it
that?
possible?
Is it possible to give that to them?
Is that a thing?
Is it a thing, Kay? Nah.
Right.
Because now you're questioning every single thing.
Right.
But the other side of grief, it says that healing is being able to take that love and to place it into something that is of greater value.
Absolutely.
If you could place that love into something of greater value, that's why sometimes after grief, people find their purpose, right? People find their destiny. People find the reason that they're actually living, because now the mission becomes bigger than you.
Right.
Because now I experienced the love from my mama that taught me how to deal with people. Now the Lord, he helps me too, because it was not until I lost my mother that I learned how to deal with people graciously.
Right.
I have a lot more compassion for people.
Right.
Because now I'm no longer looking from the eyes of a biblical standpoint.
Right.
I'm no longer looking from a judgmental standpoint.
Right.
I'm looking from a heart view.
Right.
My heart says, let me see you. Let me see your heart. Let me see the condition of what you are standing at, so I can address you properly, because I may not know exactly what it is that you're dealing with, but I know what it feels like.
Right.
And that's the issue, that most people automatically is like, no, your story don't look like mine. I didn't lose my mother, or I didn't this, but you lost a relationship.
Right.
The feelings is the same.
Right. No, absolutely.
The emotions is the same.
A loss is a loss.
A loss is a loss, bro.
And it's unfair almost to, because I realize what happens is people tend to devalue situations. So people who have lost a parent, they don't always necessarily acknowledge the grief in other people or other situations or other circumstances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because just like you said, the loss of this man I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, baby, that don't look like the loss of my mama.
Yeah.
So you don't get to experience the same grief that I experienced. You know what I mean? And that is the furthest thing from the truth.
That's the furthest thing from the truth.
Furthest thing from
because
the truth.
hurt is hurt.
Period.
If I hit your hand with a hammer, come back and hit my hand with a hammer, we might show the hurt differently.
Yeah, my toe fingers might be broke. You know what I'm talking about? Right. And your 2 fingers is broke. But that don't mean we all ain't broke. Okay? We all broken. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
We've all gotten broken in this scenario.
Absolutely. You
One does not overpower
the other,
nor does it negate someone else's experience.
Yeah. But, bruh, that's all we saying is, though we deal with grief. And the other piece about it, I had a friend of mine that was just logged on Facebook, and I was with her. Unfortunately, she experienced the loss of losing her fiance in a car accident as well. And one of the things that I remember her saying, I hope she don't mind me sharing. If you do, just message me and I apologize to you on DM. I didn't say your name, so tell them people to get out your business.
Wait, what's that thing they say? It's easy to ask for forgiveness than it is permission.
Yep, absolutely. And the first thing that she said to me when I got there, we pulled up, and she said, I'm mad at God. And her sister that was there with us, she was like, don't say that, don't say that. And I said to her, let her say it.
Absolutely.
Let her say it.
100%.
Because the Lord prefers to hear from a person that's bold enough to say how they feel than to act like they don't feel that way.
Right.
Now you're not even vulnerable enough to come to me boldly so I can help you heal. Because now you're hiding all your feelings, you're hiding all your emotions, you're hiding all of these things when I am concerned about your heart condition.
Right.
Healing is about your heart.
Right.
Being able to heal, and now I'm not taking, I'm broken internally. But now when I look beyond my own self, I can see the hurt in somebody else.
Right.
And all I want to do is let me be an example of how do I give that back to you.
Right.
I said, let her tell it. And then the other part that I hated is I watched how, his family treated her. It felt bad. It was a bad, thing. And I was there for the much support as I possibly could. And she knows I love her dearly, as much. But loss will cause people to act in ways that you don't even realize that it's impacting yourself and others around you.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
On a variety of different levels. But the truth of the matter is, when we are okay with how we feel, how a loss made me feel. I'm angry, I'm pissed, relationships, why that person do me like that. You expected to get married only for you to find out you're not getting married no more. Or you expected to, you got fired from your job that ain't had nothing to do with you as you was on a roll to buying a house. Now you got to recount. That's grief. That's all these things.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, the beautiful thing about it is, those things are what, I don't want to say cliche, but if you can navigate through it, it really is what make you stronger and better.
Yeah, absolutely.
It make you stronger and better.
What is that? When your test becomes your testimony?
Come on, kid.
When you get on the other side.
Carry more of a preacher than me.
Sure. When you get on the other side of that experience, and you're able to then use the tools that you've learned to help somebody else to the other side.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like that's when you've truly not mastered your grief, but you've grown through it.
Yeah.
You've allowed that grief to use you in a positive way that you can now be that for someone else.
Absolutely. And I was about to say that too, Carrie, is because healing the process, let's be honest, when you go through certain experiences, just very much so you get triggered.
Oh, God, yes.
Boy, let somebody say something. Let me smell something that smell like my mama.
Yeah.
Let me all of this other stuff. I can be triggered. But when you properly deal with your feelings, your emotions, you go through a process where you learn how to heal. And when you have to look up and be like, okay, this triggered me. Let me walk away for a moment.
Right.
Yep, this took me out. Let me walk away for a moment.
Right.
Because now, like you said, it's not about you, it's somebody else.
Right.
And if somebody else can see you on your worst day, be like, okay, I had to take myself outside. When I started working where I work, I would have those bad days and I would have anxiety that would come over me. My chest started pumping real bad. My vision would get real blurry. I'd get up from my desk and I go take a walk.
Right.
Then I would breathe.
Right.
Then I would talk to Jesus. Then I say, Mommy, I miss my mama. And Pastor Cook say, you can't heal what you do. Cook, you better talk right, Cook. Cook say you can't heal what you can't acknowledge.
That's it. Because what do you if you don't acknowledge the existence of a problem,
come on, say it, Carrie.
how are you going to fix it?
You can't.
What are you going to fix?
Ooh.
If you don't acknowledge that something is wrong, and that's a process that I've witnessed someone that I love dearly experience. The refusal to acknowledge that they need help. The refusal to acknowledge that this didn't end the way they wanted this to end.
Yeah.
The refusal to acknowledge the existence of this need for healing will keep you complacent and stuck.
Come on, man.
In the person that you are when you first experienced
Absolutely. Woo. And that was one of the things I said in therapy. I said the reason I show up every week is because I don't want to be 40 years old. I don't want to be 50 years old. I don't want to be 60, 70 and bitter.
Right.
I don't want to be stuck at the moment when I was, how old was I 4 years ago? Get out of our business. Don't even worry about it.
21. Okay.
Get out of our business.
Y'all really be in it. We was 21 4 years ago.
But I said to my therapist, at the age I was when my mama passed, I didn't want to be stuck at that moment in time.
Yeah.
Where the world is still existing around me, but I'm stuck at being bitter. I'm stuck at being angry. So everybody I come in contact with, all they see is this nasty, mean person. And just because I'm older, it gives an excuse for my behavior. Absolutely
Because
not.
we no longer, I'm sorry, because we used to allow toxicity and write it off as personality.
Yeah, no.
Okay?
No.
We don't accept toxic behaviors and write it off as personality traits any longer.
No.
Because we know and we acknowledge when something is not right and the work that we have to do to make it so.
Absolutely, Kay.
And I admire you for
Amen.
giving yourself the opportunity to feel. I admire you for giving yourself the permission to feel everything that came along with that vast of a loss, and then taking ownership to use that in a positive light to become the person that is sitting before all of us today. You did that work. You are doing that work. You gave yourself permission to heal and to not stay in that space. And I acknowledge that of you. I love that for you. And you deserve everything that comes with it.
I'm ending the show. I'm done. I'm done with this conversation.
I mean it. You deserve every part. Whew. You deserve every part of you that has come through that. You deserve every part of you that has healed from that. You deserve everything that is coming to you because you did the work. You're doing the work. You did not allow yourself to stay in that space and become the person that it very well could have changed you into. You allowed it to turn you into this amazing person that's sitting in front of us. And I've known every version of you. You know what I mean? Every experience, everything that you've gone through, I've known every single version of you. And I want you to know that you deserve. You deserve to be that person for yourself. You deserve to be that person for Mama Joyce. And I want you to keep going. I don't ever want you to give up because you deserve it. I saw this thing. What is it? The quote that I saw, it said, "Grief is the price that we pay for love." And I just want you to know I'm proud of you. Because the price that you've paid since January 26, 2021.
Ooh, that weight heavy, bro.
It's heavy. That's a heavy price.
That's heavy.
It's heavy. It's a heavy price.
It's a heavy cost,
It's
man.
a heavy,
It's heavy.
heavy
It's
price.
heavy. It's
But
heavy.
it's the price that we pay to give all of ourselves to love another being. Because what Papa Eccles used to say, baby, the only guarantees in life are taxes and death. All right? He used to say that to us all the time. We said, Papa Eccles, what's up, taxes? You know what I'm saying?
Gas prices.
Gas prices. You know what I'm talking about? The only guarantees we have in this life, in this world, are taxes and knowing that at some point, death is going to knock on our doors. Death is going to be an experience we have in our lives. And I'm proud of you. And I love you. And I want you to continue on this path of the person that you are. You my nigga.
I love you, dog.
I love you more.
You don't know how much I needed to hear that today. Just so you know. I appreciate you.
I got you.
This is why you got to check your friends. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all check out with us next Tuesday. We're going to be on here on next Tuesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Again, like I said, my father will be here. He has a journey that I think it's a story untold. That's what we're gonna call it. That's what Carrie called it.
Absolutely.
Carrie
It's
said,
a life
Casey
experience
said,
and a
life
story
experience,
not told enough.
A story not told enough.
Absolutely.
And my father is going to be here to give y'all a perspective from him and dealing with grief and navigating through this journey.
And grieving people who are still alive.
And grieving people. Ooh, good God, from Zion.
Honey? Because, baby, that's a whole different experience.
Oh,
when
my
you
God.
grieve somebody that you know still walking this earth and still breathing.
Ooh, good God, from
When
Zion.
you grieve that person and when you are able to allow yourself to grieve somebody who ain't actually gone, that's when you know that you're ready.
Let us pray. Lift up your hand. Somebody ought to tell the Lord, thank you for revelation. Thank you for truth. And tell the Lord, thank you for vulnerability. Because the world needs it. The place that we are in right now and all of this stuff that's going on, we are becoming reactive to situations, and we need to become proactive and think of outside the box. At the end of the day, it's bigger than us, man. That's our message all the time, always. It's bigger than us. Make sure y'all tune in to Real Relevant Conversation. We're going to do part 2 on grief. As always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for thank you for sharing. DM us any message that you want to hear us talk about. Anything that you'd like to say. We appreciate the comments, the shares. We love y'all so much. And thank y'all for giving us the space to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
All right. Appreciate that so much. Love you always. See y'all next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Real Relevant Conversation with LJ and
Okay.